Welcome to Techno Talks podcast. We bring guests from diverse backgrounds who have innovative ideas and are disrupting the market. I'm Mohammed Imran, founder of Excelera Touchstone Consulting, where we provide technology consulting to companies to choose the right technology stack for high returns on investment and returns on equity. We provide the digital transformation roadmap to choose the best in class software, application, systems, processes, which will impact your growth, operational efficiency, and drive your profitability. Today, our guest on show is Sanjeev Sinha, a pioneer and visionary in the venture capitalist industry. Sanjeev, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Imran. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor to be here on your podcast.
So, Sanjeev, can you tell a bit about yourself? You come from a technology background. What made you interested in the venture capitalist industry?
Yeah, so, you're right. I mean, I worked for 25 years with technology companies, and then I decided to start this company, both of these, True Digital Ventures first, and then Fund India. And this was because I was hired by companies at the apex role, which was president or CEO. And the main target these startups gave me was to raise funds. And eventually, actually raised funds for them. So I thought this is much easier, actually, than being in the technology business. And you are in the technology business. You know how much of commoditization has gone in the last many years. Very difficult to sell at the billing rates that we want to make profit. And now that AI threat is there. So I left that because I did for 25 years. Usually people have skills and they continue to do that. In my case, I did something new and it started to work for me, and I didn't leave that. So although I did realize that this is becoming competitive as well because a lot of people are joining in. So I realized now I sometimes feel that the technology business was easier. So it's like, thoughts go come and by. But I would never know because they can't go back in time 5 years back and start a technology company and see how it works. But I think I'm happy with what I've achieved today. I wish I could have done a little more, but then it's a fair call. I mean, I'm building the brand from scratch, so it does take time, and there are its own, challenges.
Absolutely. So everyone talks about startups struggling to raise money. Fund India says it closes the gap. What gap are you really solving out here?
Yeah, so if you look at True Digital Ventures, it has a very simple design that you connect with us, and we will connect you with investors. And and there is obviously to run the company. There is we started free, but then we realized that when you start free, then there is a lot of startups that come in, and it's difficult to manage the quality. The investors stop liking certain decks and all that. So we included a price, small fees, and then success fees as the model. But then we realized that we have to put a lot of effort, you know, and then we have to have staff, and we have to call and all that. I wanted to automate all this because I felt that, and there's too much. If you don't earn, you have to pay salaries. I mean, as simple as that for any business. So I thought that if we can automate a lot of work, the most of the stuff will be through technology. So we don't have people, we just pay for the technology so that we know our cost in a way, in a fixed way. And I can create something that is much easier also in the workflow. And then I created Fund India after all the learnings. So TD Venture is still good, but it requires human intervention. We have to put some feedback on the deck that people send to us, and also talk about our process and all that. There's a lot of questions around process because people are hesitant to sign up very quickly. In Fund India, it is very simple. You put your pitch as if you're putting a post, uh, like on any other portal you will do, like Instagram or LinkedIn or any social media post. It's very much like that. And there are people there, the 5,000, 4,600 members are there. Many of them are investors. Almost half of them would be investors, because we try to drag the investors more into our portal. And therefore look at it, and they can immediately decide whether to uh, approach that person or not. So this is how we are bridging the gap, and it is up to the people and the members, both the startups and the investors, and they can actually chat also. There's a chat window, and it's as easy as chatting. The only thing is that both the parties should like each other. If somebody doesn't want to chat further, or is not interested in the deck, you have to leave them alone. And to address that, we have a private group called Deal Room, where all the deal makers are there, who are having a lot of networks or connections, and they can help you in many areas, not only funding. It could be merger and acquisition. It could be uh, other areas like besides fundraise, like connecting you to a mentor, or doing many other things that we believe that, because the industry has evolved in the last 15 years, and many of the industry which are mature are looking for many more services. So the idea of Fund India was to make it very user driven, uh, do it DIY kind of a model, do it yourself. And so you have to work there, my staff is not going to work. You have to
Right.
keep pitching from time to time, give updates and all that. So the onus is on you uh, to fire up that place, and attract the attention of people there. So that's how I created Funding, and it's very approachable, because there is no other democratic platform I know which can simply connect back and forth
No,
people.
amazing. I was looking at the stats for TD Ventures. You have 500 plus investors, and you have funded nearly 200 plus startups. You have raised capital for $20 million plus. So it's quite amazing what you have achieved, and you have
Yeah,
helped so many
TD,
companies.
yeah. And the TD Ventures, we would have done 50 or in different ways and all that, not 200. I mean, I'm sure you must be on Fund India. We just members everyone, so we don't collect any success fee here. Only to enter the deal room there is a fees, and rest everything is free. Unless you want to present our pitch day, then there is a cost to it, or you want some expertise from us, that we review your pitch deck and all that. So there are some 6, 7 items on which we can work with you. But mostly it's concentrated around connecting you with investors or mentors, or other kind of things that you need. We don't do too much work on getting you um, on the right track in terms of pitch deck and a lot of those things. We can do that, but we believe that as long as, and today there's a lot of free things available on Google, YouTube and all that, how to make pitch deck and all that. So if somebody is really good, they can do the job. A lot of 10 sliders are there as to what your pitch should be, what each slide should be. As long as you can fill those properly, you're good to go for any investor.
Okay. So startups waste 20% of their resources just chasing funds. That's a wild stat. What's going wrong in today's fundraising process?
Yeah, so if you look at the stats are varying. So what is happening is that startups have to waste a lot of their time and energy in the fundraise process. And I mean, even 20% is less. Some of the founders, they have to have dedicated staff, or if the founder himself is doing it, can't have staff in the beginning, then he has to devote his time. And the problem is that first is the email problem. If you even have all the emails, many of the emails will bounce, or they will go into spam, and you will never hear from them. So even though you're working very hard, you're spamming the place. So it's not easy. On our platform, every member is known, more or less, and they have the option to opt out as well if it's creating a spam to them. But they're there. I mean, 4,600 people waiting to find the right connection. And so that is the difference. Now, what happens is, many of the fundraise companies, or business houses, or family offices now have moved away from email. So if you go to their website, there is a form you have to fill. Now, each of this form, if you want to fill, they'll ask all the questions, founder, co-founder. sometimes your staff may not know the answer. So GST, this, that, all that form, and you have to uh, sometimes not only mention it, you have to attach the attachments also, and certain of the information only the founder will have, because he will have all the answers to all the questions. So the staff also cannot fill. Then the staff has to talk to the founder. Founder has to find time. Or if the founder is doing himself, then it's not simply sending mail. He has to fill forms on every website and all that. So if you look at that, I think it's more than 20% of the time. And in the initial stages, um, even if you send your pitch deck, you'll not hear from them, and you'll never come to know what's wrong with you. I mean, that's another thing that nobody knows how to improve. Also, it's like a lot of if you look at a lot of updates that are there on uh, my own funding.com, we provide raising the first fund is more difficult than raising a series a $10 million deal. I mean, funding, simply because in the beginning, I mean, it's just story that you're telling. You have nothing revenue. It could be there, but it could be very paltry. um, Even 1 crore, people have to trust you if you're talking of becoming a unicorn, or if you're saying you are better than the industry or people and all that. So it's just the storytelling, your energy and build skill that matters. So that is why a lot of founders may not be good storytellers. So they die a natural death. 90% of the startups actually have a natural death, unable to find money or something, that they perish in the first year itself. And that's a very uh, good stat of this business.
Okay. So there's many types of investors like angel investors, gust seeders. There are a lot of different platforms. How is Fund India different from these sort of your competitors?
Yeah. So if you look at all of these, I haven't been to all of these, but let's say angel list is like, if you log in there, you'll find a lot of angels. That is what I'm told. And you have emails and all that. And you have to contact them, and they provide you a CRM kind of a portal where you can track and all that. The thing about that is that I think there is a payment to be done there. So the thing is, nobody is free, right now, except for us, where you can contact people and directly. That is the only thing that I see. And in the initial stages, most people can't pay actually. Even a very paltry sum of money like 10K or 12K, 25K also, for a monthly charge or whatever that you have. So what the industry has done is that it has closed its angel listing, or the investors, in a way that people can't access it without paying. And after you have made the payment also, because I've done some exercise, as I said before starting these companies, is that you have to still reach out to them. And out of many, many tries, I'm talking of 5 years back, almost 700 mails you'll send, you'll get to hear from um, 4 or 5 people. And then out of that 4 or 5, also there will be one person, and you may lose it, by the way. And then he will also not tell in, then he'll say that I'm planning to invest in 3 companies, I'm shortlisted you. So you go through those motions, it's very tiring and all that. So the point I'm trying to make is that it's not easy. And even here, it's not easy, even though it's free, because at the end of the day, um, while the first contact will be easy, if all your storytelling, the data room, all the documents are in proper shape and looks professional and all that, and you're able to strike a conversation, and then your storytelling improves and you are able to impress the investor, then the story goes forward, really speaking. So it's the same, only difference is that we're more accessible. You can chat with anyone. We have some of the top investors, a very big, multi-millionaire people in our, and you just in our portal, and you just have to say hello, and if they respond, you're done. I mean, the only thing is whether they respond or somebody else is a proxy for them or whatever. So that's the only thing. But as long as his email is accessible, you say hello, he will get an email, because of the nature of the because he has logged on to our network with an email address, whatever he has provided, he will get a notification there.
Okay. So there's one area in your platform which is totally free, and there's one area which is the deal room, which you pay. How much do you pay that yearly?
At 25K
25K.
Indian rupees.
And that will definitely give you a deal with the investors. Or it'll give you,
Yeah,
does that give you a deal with the investors or?
yeah. So then a deal can be obtained even in the public Fund India group. There some people don't like to be bugged and basically most of the investors like to be in deal room because they only want serious players to come to them. Because if there are a lot of startups and they start bugging left, right, and center, then you may not want it. So a deal room has been created for that. However, uh, uh, this price was introduced after 6 months of launch, or maybe 8 months of launch in September. So we launched in January of 2025. So the reason was that it was just a private group, and we had not put any money because of the privacy thing. But then we put little money because of the tool requirement and all that, and that's the reason for it. And it is strictly for a privacy kind of thing, private group. If people and we added investors in that so that a lot of the investors who wanted, and some investors actually came out of that and be in Fund India group because most of the posts are sent in Fund India, but they are not replicated among the groups. So group have separate posts. So if you want same post to be posted in the other group also, which is the private group, you have to put that same post again there for others to see there. So the thing is that if you put a post on Fund India and if somebody likes it, then he has to be part of the other group as well in order to put your post, or you have to sign in, pay 25 and get into the deal room to put your post again there, because that is the only thing, and that's by design of this portal. So it's not much we can do here.
Amazing. So you've been in the industry for so long. Are you sector agnostic when choosing companies to fund?
Yeah, we are sector agnostic because when I started with my own money, and then I met people and all that, and I noticed that mostly people are sector agnostic unless there is some people who are focused on health tech, some people are focused on fintech, and those are there, and they have certain sectors that they have in mind. So, for example, technology is a big area, and technology again has deep tech. So, at a high level, they're all tech, but deep tech, drones, and rocket, and all those things are technology still. Even the e-commerce, quick commerce, and whatever that is going to evolve, artificial intelligence, deep learning, everything is tech. So broadly, you have tech, health tech, fintech, and then tech itself, and education, ed tech, and so on and so forth. So some of the people who have retired from these areas, like aviation and all that, they're very particular about if you have an aviation company or drone company that I would like to invest in. And there are many family houses who are particularly in a particular business. If you look at the banks who are like ICICI Bank, they are our strategic partners and all that. They want to see some fintech companies and something that can be easily integrated with their areas of the expertise and can enhance the offering of the bank. So they would be only interested in that. Uh, Although they are agnostic to show other decks to their HNIs for a purpose of funding, but that's not their focus. So in a way, most people who are pure investors who just want to multiply money, and most of them are like that, who are angels or want to see their money grow. They are agnostic. But then, as I said, because of the skills and the people's views, for example, somebody is only um, want to see student housing, and he has been there. He had run some schools or housing complexes. He may put money on co-living. There was an aviation guy who only was interested in aviation. Then there are teachers, people who are in only focused on education. Certain doctors and those kind of people only focused on health, like they won't look at that. So that's how it is. Um, people have their views around it because of their skills and the upbringing and the certain professions they are in that they choose to be. Otherwise, for a plain investor, they just like to be agnostic and just see the energy, will skill, IIT, IIM. Those they have other ways to judge something.
Right, right.
It's not the area.
Okay,
You can make money in any area, really.
absolutely.
Speaking, I mean,
Right.
nothing is out of the canvas these days.
Okay. But you would have seen the last 10 years, technology is embedded across most of the industries like education, edutech, financial services, fintech, different industries. But was there any specific aha moment on a industry other than technology embedment, which you decided that, okay, this is a good startup to work with?
Yeah, so unfortunately, in my case, there is an element of tech in each of them. So when we funded Roomshroom, it was a co-living company, but it has a technology piece. People used to book through the web and the app and so on and so forth. And anything complaints or whatever shortcomings they have, they will tell there. The brick and mortar industry, I didn't fund them or even they didn't sign up with us. But then I know that there are food companies, restaurants who are running and they wanted money to open a new restaurants.
Mm-mm.
Certain people who are selling biryanis and all that. And they're not talking of food like as in Zomato and all that, but they want to open one more store, so they need so much money. So those kind of brick and mortar, certain tailors, clothing company, can't still remember. But as I said, these instances in my cases were small. Most of them were, and most of them are technology aggregator, app and aggregating people and connecting demand and supply, and that's what has been the business for us. But then I saw some companies, for example, there was a guy who was trying to launch 90 kg payload. He was an ex-ISRO scientist using cryogenic engine. So he pitched me. And there are some special moments when I thought, this can't be done. But then the young generation of India and those are aha moments for me, really, because I never thought somebody can even think of a rocket, a
Mm-mm.
cryogenic engine rocket. I couldn't think of one of these guys, Rohan, I think. He was making a belt for menstrual pain for women to subside that. And I think he has got a patent now and so on and so forth. So some of these ideas was really, really breathtaking for me. And some of them didn't sign up with us, but they went on to Shark Tank, and others were rudimentary business from a supply line. They will pick up some toothpaste. They're supplying to some larger groups also. I don't want to take their names, and they will pick up that thing and start form a small company where they're saying this toothpaste is different from others, so on and so forth, which is like really you are shipping something to the Middle East, in the containers and all that. So those are margin business. So I've seen all kinds of these businesses on the fintech side. A lot of people saying we can multiply your money through some Excel sheet and all that, and here is what it works like and all that. So on and so forth. Everybody has a dream in their eyes. They thought that uh, they can change or pivot the thing that are happening at that point in time. But really speaking, the aha moments were these cryogenic engines, these something to do in the health tech area, and I still can't remember many of them. At least 10% of 800 to 900 decks that I would have seen, I felt that they were really, really good. Whether they survive after 2 years, that is the cornerstone of success, I would say. Because if you don't get money, there is a plan B. You're able to still go through that very tight phase. It in a founder's journey, that's
Mm.
one of the most difficult times of the journey, and I hope they do well. I mean, I don't know if I can contact that man again. Whether I would like to know whether he has built the cryogenic engine yet or not. It's not an easy job. But then that in India today they're building rockets, and there are private companies like DG Propulsion Systems. They're building the engine itself for the spacecraft and so on and so forth. And they're talking some big things, which I don't think 10 years back we ever thought. We were only aggregating at that time. But today, the India is changed. We are talking of high-tech technology, robotics, all the things today.
Absolutely. So tell us one pain point you personally saw in the ecosystem that made Fund India necessary.
Yeah, personally, I was I was being called and um, pulled into a lot of weekend meetings to become a speaker or a mentor or a guide and even investor. Um, you know, I stopped investing after the first few years due to my own personal capacity not allowing me to do that. And my exits didn't happen the way because I was very new in this industry. So I had my own learning curve. But then I realized that when I go into those meetings, there are 50, 60 people. They're all asking for money. I mean, money is the primary concern of theirs. And they think this is the panacea to all their problems because they believe that if they get the money, they'll solve the problem. But that's not true, actually. You and I know this because
Mm.
even if you get a lot of money, you actually have to build the systems, your company from scratch, your product, your market fit. Like Mohnish Parbai was saying in one of his things that he was showing his, 20 slides to some company, and he was showing, and at the 10th slide, he went to 11th slide, and the CEO said, "Can you go back to the 10th slide, please?" So he showed it again, explained it, and then moved to 11. So he said again, "Can you go back to the 10th slide, please?" So he waited there for the 10th slide and then realized there's something in this 10th slide. So customer actually tells you what he wants to see. So then he expanded that 10 slide into 21 slides, and that's what he used to say, because in the business that you are in, there is a one problem that everybody has, and you have to identify that and grab that as an opportunity. So here, when I was going, I was meeting so many founders and all that, and they're all asking for money, and I knew that. You asked the question in the beginning also, how difficult it is to raise funds, and it is very difficult, and people don't understand. They think that if I contact 5 investors, all of them will be ready to give money. But you have to be like make so much noise on the social media in
Mm.
order to get the attention of people first. You know, people should know that there is a company where this man is trying to build something, and he has been sending posts, and some of them are making sense, and over a period of time you go into the psyche of a person, you start to make some sense for people, and that's when they'll start to get in touch with you. So this exercise itself is a long exercise. Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes 6 months and all that. So you have to be really up to the, as I said, you're filling the form and all that is one thing, but you still have to communicate what you are to others. So this journey itself is a long journey, and then you can start to ask money. Story tell your thing, and then you can start to ask money. But when I went to these people, they were all in the imaginary state. I mean, they were pre revenue, pre idea, I would say. Even the wireframe was not ready, and they all asked money. And I said, I will, and I can't. I'll give them their phone number. I give them my card, and they will respond to me. And I don't have the bandwidth to respond because next day is something else to do, and so on and so forth. So Fund India was really to capture them and to tell them that there is a place where you can do it yourself.
Mm.
That was
Mm.
the whole idea of creating Fund India, and really then automate it. And then I realized that a lot of my headaches reduce if people have to work themselves, so on and so forth. So that is the whole point of Fund India. And I was called to many institutions and many founders. I have told them, instead of using flat files of WhatsApp and all that, where there could be at the most 270, 80 people, here you have 4,500, and it will grow. It will grow to 10,000 people or whatever that it grows tomorrow. Um, you know, somebody, if you're posting regularly, which means that first post and then you come up with your half, don't do too much also. So the point I'm trying to make is that in 15 days a progress, and if you have made some considerable achievement in terms of a leap in technology, then you talk about it, and people start to take note. And like, for example, today, if you send mails to investors, they would say your revenue is very low or whatever it is. Come back after 6 months, they'll say. So what you can do is you can say that we have 6 months, we down the line, we are here, and some of you said to talk to us in 6 months. So I would like to connect again. Here is an update. So it's like, very, very engaging, compared to others. On Angel List or other, I don't know if you can go back to someone after 6 months or you will remember. But here, the best part is that you would know the person and the timelines. and everything is recorded because it flows through that system.
Nice. So, are you looking for startups to fund only in India?
No, this is a global thing.
So, would you be
It's not for
changing?
India.
Okay, would you be changing the name to fund worldwide or later? Or
No, I have got the fundind.com. I have uh, so it's India right now. I have another name in my mind with the same acronym. So fundind.com doesn't change, but I can, for a global people, I can put it Fund India International also, or I can use another name, but I can't disclose it here
okay.
because then somebody will register it, then I have a problem.
Right, right, right. So, what is the minimum investment in for investors to invest in a startup, like your ticket size?
Usually, usually you'll find, 25 lakhs for 1% of the company.
1%.
Lower than that, it doesn't make sense because then you will have too many angels and your cap table will look awful. If somebody is leading a deal, still 25 is minimum that is recommended. We are also looking for someone who want to come in with 25 lakhs, pick a stake, and also become co-founder. If he has more money, then happy to dilute more. And if he has more money, then happy to, if he buys 25% or 10% and above, happy to give him both. So because I want somebody young, energetic, fire in the belly kind of person whose dad is a rich man, comes in
Right,
and he drives certain agenda of mine. And
right,
obviously, I have the experience and the thinking
right.
behind me. So yeah, so 25 is the minimum that if you start with 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakhs, then you will have like 100 people, maybe 1,000 people by the time you reach a unicorn, or it look very awful to anyone. And people resist or go away from such companies who have too many people in their cap table.
Okay. So, when should a company require funds for high growth, and how can the investors identify high growth companies?
Yeah. So typically there are slabs actually in this business. You have to, you will know your growth stage because you will start facing cash flow problems. So, that is your growth stage, right? When you have a lot of order, you can't furnish, then there is
Mhm.
a problem. Or you have a lot of, I don't think you'll have a situation where you have a lot of inventory and you can't sell it unless there is a tariff and all these issues that are happening today. But then usually something goes viral at some point that you'll have a lot of order and you can't do that, and you can't supply those or fulfill those orders. So that's when the growth stage hits. And usually it will be like, so seed round is around 4 crores in this country, between 1 to 4 crores. Between 4 to 10 crores would be your growth stage. And then 10 to 80 crores would be your, you can call it growth stage again, or pre-series. And then $10 million and above is your series A, and then A, B, C, D, whatever, E, and F is also there. After that,